Hello, 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 and welcome in to Jack Knows Best, where I am here each and every Monday night to prove that I know best by outdrafting the competition over on Underdog Best Ball Fantasy. My opponents tonight, the absolutely lovely at P.A. Howard. Yes, that's right. Peter Howard, the host of Dynasty Crossroads, senior writer at DLF Football, the papa of projections. We are so lucky to be in his presence. However, can he prove that he knows better than Jack? And can you, the audience, do that as well? Time will tell, and we will see. Best of luck to everyone involved. Hello, Peter. Hello, Steve. Thank you both for joining us. It is an honor to have you on the show.
Hey, yeah, what's up? What's going on?
Excited to be here.
I hear we're gonna do something on Underball Fantasy. Was that
exactly?
Did I
you
get
got
that
it.
one right? Cool.
You nailed it.
Yeah, we're all just adopting underdogs tonight. Is actually the plan. It's just a big dog blowout.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun. Sorry, I'm just
honestly probably sounds better than
it's
the
a panel discussion about the 1970s cartoon Underdog. I think that's.
Oh well, that sounds right in my wheelhouse. I know a lot about.
That's why I came
Underdog.
here. I don't know about everybody else.
You think they have a copyright issue?
I came because I'm contractually obligated. I have signed my soul away to
right.
Steve, and that's why I have to remind everyone that when you sign up for Underdog, you must use promo code nonsense for a free $25, so you can compete against us in Jack Knows Best.
That's right. Jack's life depends on it.
It really does. I am hanging by a thread.
You can't give me that kind of power, Jack. I'm going to kill you.
If he dies, he dies. Like I always say.
Exactly, right, man. It's not fun when you see the tightrope walker get across. Everyone's just watching, hoping they fall down. I think just
where's the entertainment in that?
Just embrace it.
Yeah, exactly.
Embrace the chaos. Embrace the death defying. And if I fall, and if I fail, and if I prove that I don't know best, then well, I had a good run anyways.
Yeah, you had a run. I don't know about good run, but you had a run.
I was going to say, you ran. You definitely tried.
Exactly. An effort was made.
Oh, boy. I'm getting made fun of more than usual on the show. Usually I'm the one that's giving all the attitude.
That was good.
All right, well, we've got the Underdog main page up here. So we're going to jump into the 12-person $5 draft, which currently has no one sitting in it. So that's wonderful.
Right. Absolutely perfect. And for anyone that wants to join, wants to lose, just be prepared because
yes, please join the chaos. Typically, if you play along with us, this is free money. So here you go.
Well, I was going to join myself just to give myself like 2 shots, but I just realized I just literally emptied my balance on the new puppy, so it'd take too long to fix that.
Yep. Yeah, we were just talking about that before you got here. Started up today. I missed out on the first 2 because I took too long. So.
I'm in the first one with like 2 teams because I figured out it was happening. As I've already really started to try to learn best ball a little bit more this off season. And I think in my first team, I back-to-back drafted Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. I really wasn't paying enough attention in that first one.
Did you stack him with Kirk Cousins at least, or did we miss that?
No. That would make some sort of best ball.
That would have been a strategy. Yeah.
No, I was just and then they closed it. I was like, oh, these things close. I had no idea. I probably would have done something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like drafted a decent team. I'm actually looking for that team. I can't remember what the hell happened with it.
Well, the good news is you can draft a better team tonight if you so please. No pressure. You don't have to. You can draft another bad team if you want. I am happy to take your money. But
fair enough. So, do you all draft the things with a strategy in mind? Do you have preferred best ball takes? I don't. I just.
It depends. Like
I'm just
for this,
happy to
there's
be
really
here.
no strategy.
It is.
I mean,
Right.
You're at the mercy of the wheel here.
That
So,
makes
Jack,
sense.
can you explain the Wheel of WoW to people who don't know what it is?
So for the wheel of wow, we will spin at the start of each round, and the wheel will kindly or not so kindly tell us what position we're drafting. And so this is a practice round right here. And the practice round, we'd be drafting a running back in the first round. So that would have been a good thing, but it
would have been nice. But now that you know that'll never happen now.
And so if you are playing along with us at home and want to draft the same position, if you want to follow along in the pain with us, that would be ideal. So our teams don't look horrible at the end. But a lot of the time, people just like to take advantage of us and get free money. I think there's a crowd of people that know to play underdog at 8 o'clock on Mondays for free money.
I mean, you really should. We had 1 week, Peter, where we had tight end in the first 2 rounds back to back.
I actually just did that because it was fun.
It was not great.
See, it was
no. What I meant is I was doing a regular 12-team draft, and Kelsey fell to me at the end of the first round, I think it was, and then Kittle was there. I was like, I've never done that before. Why not?
There you go.
See,
that's not bad.
Sense. I ended up with
Kelsey
I had and Noah Fant in the second round.
Yeah, I had the number 1 pick in that draft.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So instead of McCaffrey, I had to take Travis Kelce at number 1.
That works.
Yeah.
CMC fell to like the 4th pick. It's awful.
Again, people love drafting against us in this because it's basically free money.
There was a Scott Fishbowl not long ago, and I think I had the 3rd pick because I never specify my pick, and I should really start doing that. But I took David Johnson just because I don't know, it was a whim kind of a pick at the time. I really liked the player. And so I spent the entire offseason talking about, trying to have different roster construction. That's all you got to tell people. I took Kelsey just for my teams, very different than everyone else's.
Yeah. Just to mix it up a little bit.
See, we always say we're going to do that, but then Steve always ends up with some combination of David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, and Leonard Fournette anyways. Always. Because Steve is a fan of the old man RBs.
I do. I want everyone else's garbage. That's my strategy. I want good young running backs early, and then I'll take the garbage old men in the back end and live with it. I'm fine with that. So if you're looking for strategy, there you go. That's my strategy, Peter.
How's that one working out for you there, bud?
I don't know. We'll find out this year.
We'll find out in week 1 when Mark Ingram's a starting running back of the Texans.
That's right.
Sounds like he might start, actually, to be fair.
He's listed as the co-starter with Philip Lindsay, which is just... What are we even doing here? What is David Culley doing?
And I was looking at that too, adjusting our projections for the Texans earlier today. And just no matter how many times I fidget with it or play with it, there's no scenario where David Johnson isn't the pass catching back. It's just never been Philip Lindsay's thing. And Mark Ingram will never stay healthy enough for it to matter.
I think we're too locked into trying to pick who's the Thunder and who's the Lightning. I mean, how many times has that actually happened? Like twice, and we're convinced it's going to be the roster construction of every NFL team. Like, It's not really just who's going to get more touches. I think Lindsey's touches, based on his chances of getting them, are just the best price right now.
Yes,
that's kind of where
that is 100% true, because right now he's like nowhere. He's going almost undrafted.
If I can get Philip Lindsay as my RB5, I don't feel good, but it makes sense in the 16th round. So fantasy football is not about feeling good.
I was going to say, do you ever really feel good? I mean, you just give up on that hope and life becomes easier. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, just embrace the pain. Got it.
We're just all a bunch of masochists here. We just enjoy the self-inflicted pain.
I'm at 6. Jack, I see you at 8. Peter, did you get in this? I don't see.
Oh, am I meant to join? Oh, no. I thought you were all joining it for it. Hang on, let me put money in my damn account.
It's all right. No, it's okay. It's all right. I'll be your proxy. I will draft for you.
Oh no, that doesn't sound fun at all. I didn't come here to
fine.
sit on the bench. No, I mean, No, I said that at the start. I was like, I was going to try and join to get a second chance, and no one said anything. I was like, okay, I'm good. We're all joining as one team.
All right, it's fine.
What is it? The 12-team $5?
Yes, the $5.
The footlong. What's it called?
The $5 footlong. Yes.
Fast draft.
Yes. Where is that at? I'm gonna get so confused on this, but that's all right.
I'm in one with just one other person. Does that count?
Okay.
Don't worry, I'm joining you as well. You
There
won't
you go.
have to.
I'm in there with you.
Hey,
Okay, so now you're in. Yes, good. We're good.
I
Looks
sure
like now
hope
there's
so.
3 of us in there now, waiting on 9 people.
Yeah, sure looks like it.
Okay. This is gonna be the ultimate multitasking because now I'm gonna draft that other draft here on my phone while we're doing this draft.
It's going to be beautiful. And the best thing is that we don't have to follow the wheel of WoW on that draft.
Yeah, exactly. I can
Unless
just do whatever I want on that one.
I can draft the players and positions I like. I'm not used to this. Life is strange.
Let's look this up. Let's see. Right now, David Johnson 142, Philip Lindsay 171. So yeah, significantly cheaper to get Philip Lindsay. It has been moving up though over the last couple of days.
Yeah, and has Mark Ingram started climbing the boards yet though?
He's at 213 still, so he's still going way back there.
That's kind of where he belongs. Like maybe he starts. It's like the Tevin Coleman thing. He's probably the week 1 starter, and then by that I mean he gets the first carry of week 1, and then he kind of goes away because he's dead.
What was that? Sorry, I was.
Oh, no, you're good.
I was paying attention.
No, definitely. You didn't want to have an interesting conversation about Houston Texans running backs?
Well, sorry, you were breaking up there a little bit. Yeah, I just don't want Texans. I think that's
That's fair.
Pretty contrary opinion. I know everyone's trying to stock them up, but
there you go again, going against the grain.
I do like to be a difference maker.
Refusing to give in to those narratives.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
People are saying that the 2021 Texans quarterback by Tyrod Taylor is going to be the Kansas City of this year. So I don't know what people are saying. But there's
Right, yeah.
There's a couple people out
Die-hard Texan fans. That's who's saying that.
Yeah. Texans 2021 AFC South champions. It's a great time to be alive.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend. So, how many running backs are on your list before you'll switch position?
Oh,
that's kind of been the way I've been thinking about drafts lately. Everyone's basically got the same strategy, unless you walk in like dedicated to a ideology or a strategy. It's more about how many of one position is on your list before you switch over.
Generally speaking, I'm aiming for 5 running backs by the end of the draft.
That's not what I asked.
How many do I go to before I switch to a different position?
Yeah, like how many running backs need to be gone before you switch position?
Oh, in the top?
Like you have so many, like there's obviously about 5 to 7 running backs people consider in the first round. How many of them need to be gone before you're like, screw this, I'm going for Travis Kelce or Devontae Adams or whatever your want is.
For me, it depends on based on what I'm feeling. Like sometimes Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler make it into that tier, and some depending on the receiver, Antonio Gibson makes it over some of those guys. But for the most part, it's that top 6, and then maybe Jones and Eckler, because I think Eckler's in for a big year, as are the Chargers.
I like Eckler. I like Aaron Jones. I like a lot of the players, but that feels like you're much more running back heavy. If we were to look back over most of your drafts, if you've got the full 6 in there, then I think you're mostly going to be taking a running back round 1, right? Probably round 2.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that leads to more running back heavy drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's typically the way
I think it's an interesting way of thinking it. Just instead of I'm going to draft 0 running back or 0. I mean, even the guy who wrote the original article, Sean Siegel, is like, well, if Dalvin Cook falls to you in round 5, don't be an idiot. Like that was in the original article. So, well, not the exact quote, obviously. The words might have been slightly more literate. But yeah, I found it a helpful way of thinking about drafting instead of picking a strategy or working on my ranking. It's just how many running backs am I going to draft if they're there, right, before I switch position, and then just keep working down the list.
All right. Well, I landed at 1, so here comes tight end on the wheel. We already know this is going to happen.
Oh no! Fingers are crossed pretty heavily here for something fine.
All right, wide receiver.
Ooh.
All right.
Could be worse actually, because I'm picking. Where am I picking?
This is great for McDon 13 in the 2 spot.
Christian McCaffrey with the 102 it should be illegal, honestly.
And no, does it really change much? I mean, obviously it's good to get Christian McCaffrey. It's who I draft 101, but his team's probably going to look about the same as if he was drafting from the 101 of that spot.
This is true. And yep, Christian
I have
McCaffrey.
No idea.
I mean, out loud. You're not wrong because he's going to be next to me the entire time. So basically, he's going to get best available.
There you go.
I think it just depends on how kind the wheel is. Just depends on how much we want to be tortured tonight.
Yep.
Something about Underdog is teaching me what kind of a small community we have, because I'm pretty sure only people on Twitter play on Underdog. Like, I think that's the rule, because I keep ending up in drafts with like names I recognize. It's like, oh, look, there's a guy who's a professional gambler. Nice. Yeah. This should go well for me. There's a guy who plays best ball professionally. Okay. Probably can't. Woo. This will be fun. First puppy draft I joined. I'm on the clock. What do I have to do?
Wide receiver.
Oh, what a shame. I was never going to do that anyway.
Take your favorite wide receiver.
Yeah. All right.
Calvin Ridley was the wide receiver too.
Yeah. I take him a lot if I'm going wide receiver. It's him or Hopkins. Stephon Diggs is in that list as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got Diggs with my pick. I like Calvin Ridley. For me, it's a tier of 5 at receiver. Ridley, Diggs, Hill, Hopkins, and Adams. And I don't get too picky between that group of 5. I think they all.
Right. Yeah. It's really tempting to take Justin Jefferson. Don't get me wrong, but you got to work on those dynasty habits. I like AJ Brown if people are a little more scared of Julio, but he's pretty much taken in the same range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really, really hoping that AJ Brown would have just a massive drop off, but like you said, it's all people playing on Twitter.
I'd take a 5-spot drop at this point. Just let him fall back to you in the second round.
Another wide receiver in round 2. All right. This could be fun.
All right, so you'll notice here, Peter, at the 11 spot, Donald McJordan. That's one of our staff, so he is playing along with us as well. Okay. And then the guy right behind him, Fantasy Triple X Football, that's Dave Fiorella. He built our stat book and does a lot of stuff for the website. He's also playing along as well.
See what I mean? Like, leave me alone. I'm just trying to pay with some fish.
There's like 6 or 7 actual people drafting in this that are just getting some fantastic values.
Where are the guys drafting CD Lamb and Jamar Chase in the first 3 rounds because they think they're so tall?
Exactly.
I want to play with those people, and I keep
look at the wingspan.
Yeah, right.
So I think
Saquon Barkley fell to the 5th pick of the 2nd round.
Are we still taking
wide receiver again?
Yeah, wide receiver has come up again, and so I'm going to take Diggs' replacement, Justin Jefferson, because I do quite like him as well.
All right, it's an interesting little cluster of wide receivers here. I've been specifically doing drafts to take more Keenan Allen and Allen Robinson, but I'm going to do this because I'm on a podcast, and I think it might be a more interesting conversation.
Ooh.
Scary Terry. So that must mean you're a believer in Fitzmagic.
Well, I'm paying for my sins of being out on him very strongly. But no, I think he's interesting this year. He's being drafted appropriately, so there's not like he's a value. He's being underdrafted, but he is in his third year, which is the most common year that a player breaks into the top 24 or top 12. When a player does that, they have historically finished top 24 at least one season before they do it. And there's only two players that make those criteria in 2021, and that's Terry McLaurin and Deontay Johnson. And I'm a Juju Smith-Schuster truther.
Yes,
so that leaves me with Terry. I think it's interesting.
You can't fault the logic. And
you can, and the reality consistently does. But I think it's, at least I'm not saying I know something. That's just historically what has happened. And I like betting on that stuff because whenever I try to put together things that are happening to predict the future, I end up just being Nostradamus,
Right.
If I try and read the tea leaves too much, it never works out.
And
I've got Allen Robinson queued up. I'm going to spin for our round 3.
I've also heard it said that a pick 6 is the best thing that can happen to a wide receiver because then they're going to come out slinging it. And
all right, finally got running back.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
All right, so I've got Robinson. And who do I want as my RB1?
We're drafting running backs this round?
Yeah, we got running back finally.
But Keenan Allen's still on the board.
No.
This is what the wheel does to us.
I'm going to take DeAndre Swift. Mixon, I think, is the safer pick, but Swift is the sexier pick.
It's weird, isn't it? Running backs are where you have to be dynasty-minded. It's like, who's younger? Who has done shit yet? Okay, that guy. That's the one.
That's honestly so true. I am young, fast running backs that can catch the ball. Give me all of them.
It's the reverse of every other position. Why would you take someone over Keenan Allen? That guy's been doing it for years. And then you get the running back. It's like, who's done the least? Who's done the least? Oh, I'm on the board.
Oh, that guy's barely touched the ball. I definitely want him.
Right now, it makes much more sense. And I could make a better argument for David Montgomery, Chris Carson, Darrell Henderson, Sanders. And instead, I end up doing this a lot. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. I like it.
Spicy, and I love it. I am the biggest Travis Etienne fan. Oh,
I'm not. I have. The more I play, the fewer opinions I have on players. It's again, just take me out of it. Stop pretending I can read the tea leaves and I know who's gonna beat reality this year. It's just running backs break out into the top 12 in their first year. It's just that's when they do it. And so you want maybe sophomore running backs because that's the second highest rate, and at least you've seen a year of DeAndre Swift being good. So I agree with taking him higher. Don't get me wrong, but Etienne and Najee Harris are falling this year because we're still in love with last year's class. We're like the guys who can't let go. Just move on. They moved on. They've got a nice new happy. You should just go live your own life, and so that's what I'm doing up there.
Tight end.
The round 4 tight end is going to be painful,
especially with 3 of us trying for
it.
Well,
it's painful for me because I'm at the back end of it.
Am I on the clock?
No.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at a different draft. I'm not cheating on yours.
It's okay. We understand you two tight ends. It's fine. We're fine. This is all fine.
There were already so many good tight ends off the board, too.
I was going to say, there's 2, there's none I would consider drafting now. Having said that, again, the reason I'm continuing to draft, despite having spent all of my free money, is because I've been learning about exposures. And so I was asking, what's a good exposure? And they're like, I don't know, 30% is pretty hot. And I'm like, oh, I'm above that in all of my guys. Yeah. I'm at 50, 60%. So I've been doing more drafts to try and drown them a little bit.
Yeah, diversify.
And, because I've got Evan Ingram on 66% of my team so far. So I've been trying to draft more tight ends. So this will help. This will probably help.
Well, so I'm not a big Kyle Pitts fan because he's a rookie.
But you have to. Yeah.
I feel like I have
to. No, don't do it. Definitely.
Sorry, Peter.
His only, I guess. I tell you what, Logan Thomas is really interesting this year. I like him. Not this high, obviously, but something I noticed.
Very obviously.
I'm taking Dallas Goedert because I don't know what to do here. But something I noticed in the Scott Fish Bowl is that you can note when smart people do interesting things because they get to experiment a little bit with a fun league. And I noticed Sean Siegel deliberately drafted Logan Thomas like several rounds and several tight ends above where his ADP suggested he had to, and that stuck out to me. So I've been raising him up a little bit just because if someone like that thinks highly of him, I'm probably too low. I took Dallas Goedert because I'm a complete wimp and a simp, and I just went with ADP. But
you went with the easy decision, but at least you talked about the hard decision. That's
right. I feel like that matters. And also, I've got 25% Logan Thomas, and like I said, I'm trying to drown my percentages out at this point.
Balance it out. All right, I'm on the clock. I'm going to end up with Tyler Higbee because why not? That's my reasoning.
I can tell you why not.
Okay, running back again.
He had that one good 3-game stretch, and that's
he had one good stretch. That's fine. At this point in the board on tight end, it's just who catches a touchdown.
Yeah, and every 3 touchdown game he has, you'll receive the benefit of it.
Exactly. All right, so I'm looking at running back here. This is all
this is all the guys that I'm sure Peter hates because all of them are kind of on their way out in Dynasty, except for Javonte Williams.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take Javonte Williams.
I was going to say you got Williams.
Yeah, that's my there.
Mike
and
Davis.
Then, honestly, all these dead zone running backs have usable weeks available.
Right.
It's just they're not to be difference makers. I still think Myles Gaskin's dropping an ADP crazily right now.
Yes.
It says his ADP right here is 66, but I found him in the 8th round in one of my other drafts. I don't think that's true right now.
Yeah. People are very scared of the committee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it bugs me because they're hyping Malcolm Brown and he's bad.
Everyone's always just in the wrong place. Like at the start of the offseason, I was like, Malcolm Brown has one of the highest likelihoods to receive like a 25% share of that offense. And so I've got him on a few teams. And then as the offseason goes on, you see the team does nothing to move away from Myles Gaskin. It's like, okay, well, all right. I won't trade him away as cheaply as I've been willing to. Maybe I'll add him a few places. Like it seems like everyone's always going the other direction. And that's either going to be really bad or really good for me. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Cam Akers was in a committee last year too with Malcolm Brown until he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
We love to think, and it's like, remember last year it was going to be the committee of Jordan Howard and Matt Breida, and as long as you got one of them, you were safe.
And then Myles Gaskin out of nowhere. Yeah.
I have to take a running back here.
You do.
Well, you suck.
One of these great choices you have.
I don't mind all these. They're very cheap in Dynasty, And Miles Sanders seems to be falling a lot. I have a lot of him. So.
Well, since you took Miles Sanders, I am going to bite the bullet on Myles Gaskin. Just we hyped him up enough. I feel like we've got to give a guy some love.
I actually love Mike Davis in this range, but again, he's one I think people are more scared of than his ADP suggests. So.
Right.
I like letting players fall to me if I can possibly get it. I'm just addicted to it. I shouldn't be. That's something I've tried to get better at. Is you really just have to. Well, Sean Siegel in that draft, you just kind of have to take them where they should be taken a lot of the times instead of hoping they fall to you.
Yeah,
I get that, but I'm a wimp. I like taking
I like getting what I think is good value. And maybe a lot of the time I end up being wrong, but it makes me feel good for about 5 minutes. So.
Everyone says they hate being like the middle team in a dynasty league. I love it, apparently. I'm addicted to it. I'm like, I'm not good. I'm not bad. It's cool. It's cool. I'm happy right here.
I'm competing for the playoffs, but not aggressively.
Right. No one's gunning for me. Like if you're at the top of the board, everyone's trying to take your head off.
For me.
And if you're on the bottom of the league, everyone's trying to like
you're the under the radar guy.
Yeah, they're trying to pick you off like that slow gazelle. So just stay in the middle where it's safe. That's
like,
what I
wait,
like.
how did this guy get into the playoffs? Where did he come from? That's the team you're aiming to be.
Damn right. Hoping a little variance in the player schedule there. Do we have a position?
Wide receiver.
Man, you guys bounce around a little bit. Huh? Wheel.
That's right.
The wheel is a cruel mistress.
I'd invite you not. Is this like a non-swearing podcast?
Oh, you go right ahead.
Oh, because I'd invite you not to fuck the wheel. Just throwing that out.
That's just good life advice.
Yeah, right? It feels.
You don't know where that wheel's been.
Yeah.
There goes my Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, that's who I really was hoping for. I don't like it, but since he's gone and Odell's gone, I guess we're going with Jerry Jeudy because he's got some great routes. And
am I on the clock? Jesus, yeah. So the other thing, especially trying to learn baseball, I've been trying to get in the mindset. Again, being a wimp, I'm usually like, who's going to score some points?
Yeah.
You really have to ask yourself who can finish in the top 12 in this range. And I've got 3 that I think have a higher likelihood. That's Antonio Brown, Kenny Golladay, and Will Fuller. And I went Golladay because, again, I haven't been drafting him a lot.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think people are fading.
Like, I love a lot of these players more, but I don't think any of them have as likelihood of being
that ceiling. Yeah.
Again, then that's why they're being drafted down here. They're probably not going to, so you're choosing between lower odd picks anyway. But
but
agreed.
At least with Kenny Golladay, he looks the part. He does.
He's huge. He's big. Right? He's big. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
No, he does. He's also done it before. To your point there, Jake. I mean, at least he's been there before. Act like you've been there before, I guess.
Will Fuller was there before, but then he got popped.
He did.
Yep. I like Will Fuller as well. He was on the list.
I really like Will Fuller, but
and the hate on Will Fuller to me is crazy, especially in best ball. Like, why so late? It doesn't make any sense. He's only out 1 game.
Yeah, he's missing that first game, I guess, and everyone's convinced he'll get injured again,
or that Jalen Waddle is that good.
I think they think he's going to take the volume model straight off.
Well, I'm the Devontae Parker truthers. And so,
running back again.
The Devontae Parker truthers.
All right, I got Antonio Brown here.
That's not a running back, you liar.
Yeah, that was my last pick.
All right. Yeah. Likely story.
All right, what do I want here? I've got DeAndre Swift and Javonte Williams. You know what? I'm picking a bunch of players I don't already have. Let's go Rojo. Why not?
I've been doing that lately. Like, I don't love the player or nothing, but he's going to get a certain number of top 24 weeks, and you're just looking for usable weeks at this point. I think at running back.
That's the beauty of best ball. I don't have to have the terrible weeks of Ronald Jones or the Leonard Fournette weeks.
That's right. You're not drafting Ronald Jones. I'm just drafting those few games of Ronald Jones.
Exactly. I'm drafting the 3 good weeks of Ronald Jones. That's what
the ones.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, like, no one ever. Well, some people do. I never want to decide to start Ronald Jones. So take that out of my hands.
Yes.
Exactly. Right. That's the thing about some of these running backs. And Keyshawn Vaughn, same argument. If we're going to look at that backfield now, everyone hates him. Finally, you get him for free at the end. It's not bad. It's not bad. You feel pretty dirty. You have to take a lot of showers, but that's the life.
Exactly.
Peter will be back on the clock after this pick with another running back. I cannot wait to see who his RB3 is.
I really don't want to. To be honest with you, like, just look at this ADP list. It's a quarterback and like 8 straight wide receivers. The draft board is like, what are you doing, guys? I took Damian Harris once. That was enough for me. I don't want to do it again. I like James Robinson here, but I've got ETN, so no. Michael Carter, I guess.
Sure.
That's who I was hoping to take.
I took Damian Harris once.
Yeah, you just in case, just so when everyone's happy on Twitter.
I was in college. I was experimenting.
Yeah, I could be like, hey, I got him in that one place. That's cool.
Well, I'm going to go with Damian Harris because there's and I feel less confident about it now. I know we shouldn't overreact to the preseason games, but James White was getting a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because maybe when Cam's in there, he's checking it down because he's got those happy feet now. But
it's almost like those targets have something to do with the player. I don't know. It's weird.
Just have to hope that Damian Harris takes that next step. He looked good this week too.
Who is JSHHFR?
No, we don't know him.
Is that one of your people?
Nope, he's just a random guy who apparently loves Juju as much as you do.
I don't like him very much. That's what I'm going to say.
Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley with his first 2 picks as well.
Well, someone's got to take him
Saquon in this.
He also took Jamar Chase, like he was just giving us a round off, and I appreciate that. Like, no, it's all right, you go on. But then he backed it up with 2 pretty good high upside picks. So.
All right, who are we taking this round, Steve?
Oh yeah, I forget Dave's back here.
Wheel of wow!
Another wide receiver.
Wow. Another wide receiver. All right,
I can live with that.
Took a time for it. We got some guys I like here. Some guys I really don't like. Some guys I don't understand why they're going this high, like McCole Hardman. But it's fine.
I don't know what to do with this range of wide receiver. Am I looking for usable weeks, or am I still looking for top 12 upside? Like, if there's still a top 12 upside guy on the board, I guess you have to go that way. And after that, You're just looking for... Or should we be looking, because this is a great range for like the Justin Jefferson of this year. You know, the CD Lamb, Jamar Chase goes off the board. Right. And there is no Justin Jefferson this year, but Ronald Jones is on here. That's a high upside pick for his range. Not Ronald Jones, sorry, Rondell Moore. But he goes a lot later, apparently, 118. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little uncertain about this range of wide receiver in best ball.
Well, if you ask our local nerd, he will tell you that Brandon Cooks is a top 10 wide receiver this year.
Right. What team does he play for?
The team that shall not be named.
The team that everybody wants to stack a bunch of players.
Well, they did, cut about 200 pounds of shit off the top of their roster there, so that's pretty good.
Well, Brandon Cooks off the board.
Well, there goes Brandon Cooks, so
anyways.
Solves that problem for you.
We're going to go with the usable weeks of Mike Williams because he's got a 10-touchdown season on his record. He's gone for 1,000 yards, and he's got the best hair at quarterback in the NFL.
I don't like it.
Not a Mike Williams fan?
I'm a fan of every player, to be honest with you. It's just, we're talking about an ADP or a draft. I just think we keep willing Mike Williams into being something that he's not. I think he's pretty amazing as he is, and if we could just appreciate coming off that injury from college, like the man's phenomenal, and it's like we can't appreciate that because we keep expecting him to be something else. It's like if you could take out he could be better than Keenan Allen for fantasy, and he's not ever gonna be. Right. Then you could actually appreciate, hey, that man's taken on an above average role for an NFL franchise after suffering an injury that literally is meant to end your ability to walk fairly well for the rest of your life. Like, he's pretty amazing. I just, he's a 15 to 17% target player. That's what he is. He's got some upside weeks, like you were saying, though. He can catch them touchdowns.
Yeah, I much prefer Mike Williams in best ball than in real life because he's one of those guys I don't like making the decision to start.
That's like not a thing we're allowed to say anymore, though, dude. That's like illegal anymore.
I know it's a curse word.
They figured out that we were just using that to get away from actually having an opinion. Well, I don't think we're allowed to say that. I think the new one now, though, is I like him in Dynasty. Like, I like him in Dynasty more than I do this year. And then you've got 3 years before anyone can call you out and everyone forgets.
All right. Well, we're on wide receiver again. I took Chark, and now I'm taking Elijah Moore.
God, Chark, jeez.
That was a good pick.
Nope.
And now,
I mean, no. Just gone.
No, my thing with when I say better in a best ball, I mean it not in the sense.
No, I agree. Like it is a thing. It is true. You're completely right. It just sounds.
I agree.
Right.
I only say
it's the easy way out.
Yeah. I don't want to start this guy in real life ever because it makes me feel icky inside. Like
I'm saying this, but I'm not one of those assholes who says it just like I mean it for real, baby. Yeah. You know.
So wide receivers here.
Yeah, wide receiver.
Ooh.
I got a few alike. Again, I'm just really a little mixed up about what to do about wide receivers around here. I guess I'd just take JJ Zachary's advice all the time, I guess, which is just always draft for upside. Oh, am I on the clock?
Okay. You are on the clock.
I really like Marcus Brown. I just want to say it. Like I've got him at the top of my list here, and that's why I was getting mixed up. I'm going to take Rondell Moore.
There you go.
I don't have him near enough, and I think he has probably the most upside here.
I love him in Dynasty.
yeah. Unfortunately, I can't. Like I do, but I don't. Like the problem with this wide receiver class is it's definitely worse than last year.
Yeah,
it's not going to have like 3 or 4 wide receivers that have fantasy significance for multiple years. It's just probably not. But I have a solid tier of 5 players that I actually would love in most drafts. Yeah. And it's not the ones everyone else loves, which is great. But it puts Rondell Moore like wide receiver 5. I have him right now, and that feels so nasty. Like I can't tell you how much that does not reflect how high I am on him. But you know, you've got to get Jamar Chase in there. That's like you're not allowed not to have it. And then if you're not scared of BMI, Smith's got to be in there. Elijah Moore is a baller, man. Rashad Bateman's the cleanest profile, despite coming from Minnesota in this draft class. Yep. And then it's Rondell Moore, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but like you're gonna get screamed off the internet if you have anything else. So I saw someone put Jamar Chase at wide receiver 6 the other day in the class, and Twitter did not react well.
I want to like Smith, but you either have to take him over those guys or you don't get him. And it's like, that's could you all be a little more scared of how skinny he is? Just a little. Just a little bit more scared.
Fade him just a little bit for me.
Just low. Also, what's doing it for me right now is the Eagles are basically the Texans on the Texans list for me. Like I cannot do Philadelphia anymore until I see them not fuck something up.
Yeah.
Just it's been a while since I saw them not do it badly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, and a lot of people seem to think Philly doesn't want to do well this year either.
They have great players. I think they genuinely have one of the richest skill position rosters, at least. I can't speak to the others. And they just can't seem to do anything with it. I don't know what's going on. Do we have to draft a certain position?
Quarterback.
Ah, okay.
Not a bad time to take.
No, it's actually a pretty good range for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of Matt Stafford right this year? Because I got torched for saying maybe he wasn't going to be Patrick Mahomes this year early in the offseason, but now everyone's drafting him as like quarterback 13, which seems like, isn't that what I was saying?
Right.
That's people are very passionate about Matthew Stafford, and it's because he played for the Lions. You either hate him or you love him, and there is no in between except for like you clearly and a couple other people. Like this is where he belongs. Like he doesn't have the rushing upside, he doesn't have all of that, but could have a very good season in store for him. So I'll take Matthew Stafford here. I
mean, he's always had something of a good season. That's not in doubt. He's definitely an upgrade. I will say that just as a quarterback, but that might turn into more NFL goodness than fantasy goodness, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm fine with him where like I've ended up with I'm on the clock. Shit. Joe Burrow, who I was a lot happier with before someone told me he's dead and doesn't have any legs anymore, apparently. But 2 seconds. I'm going to take Burrow.
A lot of people are out on him now. I personally am not.
I'm not out. I've got him in a few places. I've drafted him a lot, actually. But in best ball, like I just finally filtered the tab, and Matt Ryan is where I'm going a lot of for the same reason Matthew Stafford, to be honest. Just you know what you're getting. But I took Burrow this time, so I'm on the record.
Shoot for the upside.
I think this puts me in a tough spot because now I've got 2 rookies or Matt Ryan, and the veteran that has the upside is Tua.
Yeah, Tua's an interesting pick right here.
So it's
and with the QB2 a lot. You've also got Kirk Cousins if you just want a solid QB
it's just
first.
Floor. Yeah, I think I'm going Tua here.
That's right.
He's got the ceiling compared to everybody else, even though it's a little bit of a reach based on his ADP.
No, I left Tua at this point.
All right, let's see. What do we got? Coming through wide receiver.
Yeah, my thing with Tua is like, isn't it possible that he's better another year removed from his hip surgery?
Well, it's what we were talking about before. Like, we want our players, we want the guys we like with our takes, but where it's safe to take him. And that's Tua this year. He's one of the few players this year. It's like, if he's as bad as we thought he was, you're good. I mean, upstream, I mean, where people are drafting him is as if we saw a Daniel Jones level performance from him before. And we haven't. I don't understand why people don't like him.
So are we wide receiver again this round, Steve?
We are wide receiver, yes.
Jeez, we are not getting any choices. It is just take this player, take this position, take this position. Like, where are the flexes? Come on.
I think he took him off the wheel just before he got on.
Yeah.
It sounds like something Steve would do to torture.
That is definitely something I would do here.
What position?
Wide receiver.
All right. Upside. Don't see any. No, I'm gonna take Jacoby Myers for the undrafted free agent brand, I guess. I don't mind Parker at this range, but Jacoby Myers is sexier to me.
And I think I'm gonna go with New England's wide receiver 1 because I think Mac Jones is gonna be starting sooner rather than later. So we'll go with Nelson Aguilar.
I was gonna say I just took the wide receiver 1.
You got the Julian Edelman 1. I got the field stretcher 1. The Devontae Smith 1.
All right.
Oh,
wait,
that's not a good
that didn't feel good, did it?
That didn't feel good. Oh no!
I really wish I hadn't framed my take.
Sometimes context isn't a good thing. Sometimes I should just stop talking.
When it makes me feel bad, it's not true. That's the rule. Gabe Davis seems to have fallen. I felt like I was battling Gabe Davis' truth for the first month of the season, but now he's
officially listed behind Sanders and Beasley on the depth chart.
People really do take some weird shit seriously, like preseason snaps and reads and deployments. It's like, you think they're walking out and say, hey guys, we're about to go into a games with this is what our scheme is, and also here's our depth chart.
Yeah. Here's our whole plan.
I mean, anyone's experienced one preseason before should know, just ignore it. Like it's fun and you can try and know it without reacting to it too strongly. That's a good policy, but definitely don't react to it. Jeez,
Yeah. My policy on the preseason is confirm your priors when people look good and ignore everything else.
If it makes you think what you already think, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
People were not happy that I was praising Terrace Marshall. I've said that he should have been taken over Tutu Atwell, over Kadarius Toney, and over Dwayne Eskridge. And people are like, "Oh, it's preseason." It's like, yeah, that's not the point. These were bad picks when they happened.
See, if he had been, I think that's what happened. I think the NFL fucked this up because I want to be low on Terrace Marshall. I think his profile looks bad, but because he was drafted over much shittier prospects, he's just kept falling in it. Like, he's never been bad ADP, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's been fine to draft him. Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's fine. I was really hoping this preseason he went and caught that ball for a little while. And everyone was like, yeah, he's going to be great. And I was really hoping that would do it, but so far, no.
I do not like my options here at QB2. And so we're going to go with the one Konami guy available in this range, and Daniel Jones, because he might run for some touchdowns.
This is kind of his year to do better than he has been, just career arc-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's this year's Drew Lock. Like, if you don't do it, you made yourself feel bad. You're never going to
do it. You made yourself. Oh, QB2?
QB2.
I'm on the clock. I'm taking Derek Carr.
Okay. Nice.
I don't mind making Mayfield here, to be honest. I love the idea the Browns are finally going to unleash something. I mean, again, it's a rich roster, but
yeah, that's my pick.
Derek Carr is just a steady Eddie. He's going to get me the 30% usable weeks I need. I'm good.
Oh, and the Raiders' defense is awful. The Browns is really good. So that's kind of I don't try to read too much into that typically, but
you don't?
Like for the Browns at least, like I really believe in the Browns as a team, and so I think that they're gonna be up a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas the Raiders, not so much.
See, that's one of those things that makes sense. I just have no idea if it helps. If you know, I never looked.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but it's like a lot of things. Just because it sounds like it makes sense, I don't know what to make of it until I can. So I was hoping you'd had a reason to think of that.
It sounds
great though. Sounds great, man. Yeah.
This is just another one of those like things I say that I don't actually have anything to back it up, but it sounds pretty.
At some point, you have to make your own story. You just got to know which parts are story and which parts are based on something. I mean, literally about half the season is randomness as far as I can tell. So you got to add story in there somewhere. Why not?
All right, what do I want here? I'm running out of time.
We got
a flex.
Oh, a flex. Wow, finally.
Marquez Callaway, why not? Shot in the dark.
3 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 1 tight end. That's what I'm running right now.
And what positions do we have, or how many of each position do we have left there, Steve?
So far on the wheel, we have a running back, wide receiver, a running back, a super flex, and a tight end. That's what's left.
All right.
I really don't want to draft 3 freaking quarterbacks. So.
Yeah, so super flex, probably not going to be a QB here.
No.
And the way this is going,
I'm going with the 2 QB. I really hate drafting 3 QB. Sometimes in tournaments, but only if I wait really long on all of them. And usually Taysom Hill is one of them.
God damn it. Dude, I really have to stop drafting Evan Ingram. If you could notice that there's 3 tight ends in the NFL that average 20% opportunity score for their team. Evan Ingram is one. The other 2 are Darren Waller and Travis Kelce. Why do I get him down here every time?
He's just sitting right there waiting for you. There he is.
I can't draft Evan Ingram. If he gets injured, my teams are all dead. I'm taking Evan Ingram.
Can't help himself.
I mean,
just that's it.
Yep, that's it.
There's just no reason for this hatred.
No,
okay.
I think Daniel Jones is the people's reason for the hatred.
That's fine, but I just took Kenny Golladay earlier, and if he can catch a touchdown, so can Evan Ingram. Not one of the interesting things, but something I know of from last year is the rate of touchdown scoring, both the rushing and the receiving game, was up exponentially in 2020, and we really shouldn't expect that to continue, even though there has been a broad trend over the last few years of being slightly more productive because of a rise in quarterback and also wide receiver talent over these last few draft classes. But the New York Giants are one of the few teams that managed to underperform touchdown expectation last year. They're pretty much guaranteed to score 10 more touchdowns next year than they did in 2020, just because they scored just so few.
Yeah,
you can literally just tack 10 on to what they did last year, and you have a more reasonable projection. I just need Evan Ingram to score, catch 3 of those or catch anything. And he should be fine.
Didn't Daniel Jones have 2 touchdowns through 8 games or something? That's not gonna happen again.
Right.
I mean, I'm a fan of all players, but that guy may stink. I don't know, but again, just through the laws of chance, he should have a slightly better season this year. So
as long as he doesn't trip over his own feet again, that's what we're hoping for.
There you go. It's fun to make fun of people that are more talented and athletic than I have ever been in my entire life at anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
It makes me feel better as I'm shoveling
exactly.
Right, yeah.
Look at this guy.
Daniel Jones, he sucks. Professional NFL player. Basement dweller.
So are we taking running backs here?
Running back here is...
okay, sorry.
Oh, Jordan, you took Xavier Jones, you jerk.
Counter argument, I don't want him. Does that have any weight?
It does, because there's a very good chance they sign Adrian Peterson, and he is completely irrelevant.
Look, there's Malcolm Brown down there.
if you're willing to reach like all the running backs you want here, actually, I say that. Like you want them early, you want them late, and all the late ones are still here, obviously.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with the guy that because I saw it earlier today. He caught a pass from Tom Brady. He looked pretty good. Gio Bernard. He fits into that hodgepodge at running back in Tampa, and I hate it. I don't think Peter likes it.
No, I'm going back to my I don't want to take because that was the reason I was okay with it. I was like, hey, I can get more Gio, you. All right. Have a lot of Philip Lindsay, so I'm going this way, which doesn't feel great.
Gio Bernard and Tevin Coleman back to back. It does not feel good at all, but maybe.
Good, man. I haven't drafted him a lot at all. I'm not making much of anything in the preseason. It's just, I guess. Wait, no, I've already got Michael Carter on this roster. I suck at baseball.
Well, the good news is the weeks.
I have all 3 touchdowns. The Jets running backs are going to score this year.
You got
unless it's one of the other 3 guys.
You got it locked down.
Until it's Ty Johnson.
I just did want to draft more Philip Lindsay. Oh, I suck. That was bad. Yeah.
I really don't want to take Philip Lindsay here, but I feel like I kind of have to, given the rest of the board.
Who was the other guy? Or Madison, Darrington Evans, if you want to reach a little. Those are the next guys.
I own a significant amount of Kenneth Gainwell shares as well.
Yeah. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, I know. When I'm this late in the draft, it's just like, oh, it's a rookie. He's going to catch passes.
Shoot for upside.
Yeah, exactly. I can talk myself into like anybody back here. All right.
Ramondre Stevenson's climbing up boards too.
I know he went immediately down from one coach comment and then one carry, and he goes immediately back up. It's a little preseason-y.
All right, so I've got Lindsay, and now it's super flex. So pick your poison. We're gonna have to take a tight end here. There's still one on the wheel.
Tight end.
I don't really want to take back to back.
I'm good, bro. I know Henry's up there. He's the next guy on my list, followed by Zach Ertz. Yeah. Just throw it out names to confuse you now.
I know.
Donald Parham.
I'll take KJ Hamler. I'm all right with that.
I've heard people still really impressed that David Njoku is big. And Jimmy Graham has never not finished as a tight end 14 or better if he plays 16 games. So there you go.
Tim Tebow, big breakout year.
All I know, I completely forgot that happened, and so they were posting him getting his teammates killed by not being able to block on Twitter. I was like, ooh, that is a difficult transition. That is a difficult transition right there. Poor guy. And did you say we're on like Superflex?
This is yes. Or no, wait. What did I say?
This is Superflex.
Okay.
And then what's left on the board?
Right now, running back, wide receiver, tight end, but I feel like we're one input short.
I think we might be.
You must have lost one. So we'll do flex for the last pick. I'll let you have whatever you want.
You can have whatever you like.
Exactly. I can't take Dami. I'm taking this guy. Quick. I was going to take Dimey Brown, and then I realized I'd taken Terry McLaurin, and I can't make that mistake twice in the same draft on 2 different teams. That's not allowed.
Keep doing that?
I keep doing that.
Just fall in love with one roster.
In Dynasty, it wouldn't matter. Fuck, you know.
Exactly.
So I'm just not used to editing my choices that way.
We're going to go with the gamer guy, Darrington Evans. Why not? He supports content creators, so I like him.
Oh, he does? I like
Yes. He is he likes fantasy football people. He doesn't play fantasy football or follow it, but he supports people that write about it.
I tell you what, he was last time I checked my most running back, because last year I was heavily arbitraging Derrick Henry, basically. Did not work out. Best running season in the history of the NFL. So not great, but I mean, people like Darrington Evans more this year, and I have him if you want him. So I mean, in that way, it's worked out. Dynasty, you win either way.
That's right.
Well, and then you just hope that, the Titans defense is worse. They pass more. Henry's on the field less. It's still good. It's still good.
There you go. I still got this. I still got
this. Tight end.
Oh, boy.
I mean, no one wants Sterling Shepard usable weeks, right? There's something extra nasty about getting usable weeks from Sterling Shepard, apparently.
Yeah, I have drafted a lot of Sterling Shepard because of that. Because no one wants him.
I mean, he'll get you a top 24 week, but it just doesn't taste right. You know, it just has an aftertaste. That's what I think.
He's one of those better in a best ball guys because I never want to start Sterling Shepard in real life. Like,
on the off chance that Cobb isn't Randall Cobb still, or not this year, they've got MVS and Alan Lazard. I keep finding interesting as well in a best ball.
I like Alan Lazard a little bit better than MVS because
he did seem to have the volume locked down, didn't he?
Yeah, we only saw like a game and a half with Lazard in and Adams out, and Lazard got fed against the Vikings. So
it's like a Deontay Johnson thing though, because I like MVS, but you can't look at Lazard and not notice like Deontay Johnson and Ben Roethlisberger. The guy just likes throwing to him. Like 10, like it's just an insane amount of volume when he was on the field.
I'm really sorry, Peter, but I'm going to have to take Hunter Henry right in front of you.
That's fine. I got 2 tight ends. I'm good.
Oh,
that's right. Oh, this is tight end. Tight end's on the wheel right now.
I have to take another tight end. I don't like you people very much sometimes. That's weird. I don't know who any of these people are, really. I really look down this low on the tight. No, I know who they are. I guess there's a Harrison Bryant, but I'm just Jimmy Graham's gonna catch a touchdown at some week. I'll take that.
Sure. He's gonna have a 2-touchdown week at some point.
Honestly, I haven't been able to get nearly enough exposure to Justin Fields, so I'll take it however I can get it. There's my justification.
Just keeps going higher and higher too.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you don't have it by now, you're probably not going to get it without overpaying. Yeah, because people have seen it and like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Definitely at least the second best quarterback in this draft class at passing, but can run. Nice.
I saw a tweet yesterday during his preseason game too. Is every play where he rolls out looks like the game-winning touchdown in a Hollywood film. Like, he just looks so good playing quarterback. The Bears are back, baby.
There it is.
I hope so. That fan base deserves something.
He's already a top 3 quarterback.
I don't know quarterback evaluation, but I don't understand why anyone wants to say he's definitely got that potential.
Yeah, he's already Jay Cutler and Jim McMahon. They're probably higher up just because they actually played real games for the Bears. But I don't think anyone else the Bears have ever had compared to Justin Fields.
He has more upside than anything they've had at quarterback for a very long time,
very long time. Okay. This is all terrible. I'm going to take De'Ami Brown. That's what I want.
That sounds like life. Yeah, why not, man?
So this is running back or wide receiver, either or. Pick your poison.
Running back or wide receiver?
Yep.
Well, let's see. I got 6 wide receivers, 5 running backs. So that's pretty even, too. Look at that. Mainly because I got 3 fucking tight ends.
Not too happy about that, are you, Peter?
Wouldn't be my choice. Sorry.
So are you going to add another giant to your Galladay Ingram fold?
I guess I should, really.
I mean, why not? Go all in at this point.
Should really
Sterling
be wide
Shepard's
receivers.
still on the board.
It really should, I guess, be wide receivers at this point, but like I don't like many of them. People found Tyron Williams, and I'm very upset about that. Because he was just an easy pick pretty late.
He is clearly the Lions wide receiver 1. Like, he's the only guy with 1,000-yard season on his resume. It's not Perriman. It's definitely not Perriman. If you're an Amon-Ra St. Brown fan, I get it. But if you're saying it's Rashad Perriman, get out of here.
I mean, yeah, which makes me think that, I don't want much of the Lions, to be honest with you. But, yeah, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown's a decent, okay prospect. And he could be the volume leader there, but if he's a volume leader there, I don't know they have a top 24 wide receiver. Like, I don't think he's bad as a prospect. I just don't think he can do that by himself. Right. Even Jamison Crowder needed Robbie Anderson on a terrible team to help kind of bolster each other up until the 24 because no one else was helping them. And I think if Amon-Ra St. Brown is a guy, then he's struggling. And I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
No, I completely agree. And
he's got like I didn't mind him as a prospect. He didn't stand out, but I think he's got like a 19, 20 age breakout at either threshold. I mean, he did well enough in college you could be interested in him, but he doesn't look like someone that stands out outside of his situation. I normally try and avoid that.
Right.
We're going to add another cliche here, and he's a better real life
going with
player
flex
than
again,
a fantasy
just to reiterate.
player. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, he's going to have like a 10-year career in the NFL, but they might just be 600, 700, 800 yards a season, and that's fine. Like, that's more than I could do in the NFL.
I think that would be more than most do. Like, yeah, he's going to be an NFL level player. You know, it's always awkward separating out fantasy from these guys. It's like we were saying about Daniel Jones earlier. It's not like they're not impressive. It's just, we play fantasy. It's a different thing.
Yeah, it is a different skill set being good at fantasy football and being good in real life. One requires volume. The other...
It's not even really a skill. They're not like... they're not performing in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it can be awkward, especially since, and it's probably a good thing, like you were saying about Darrington Evans, the worlds are kind of colliding more and more because they're becoming aware of us. We're all on Twitter. They're getting involved in community projects, which are reaching everyone because there's now social media. And so we're kind of bumping into each other and having to explain, no, I don't mean you. I mean your stat line. Nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You are great. You're very impressive. However, I'm not drafting you, and I'm sorry. But I am drafting Van Jefferson to pair with Matthew Stafford because I got to get a stack in there somehow.
Right. You know, what are we drafting this round?
Flex. So anything but a quarterback.
Oh, I want to take a quarterback. The minute you say that, I'm like, All right.
Peter really wants to take Jimmy G right now.
I was thinking of it. You know, I have heard a not unsmart person, like someone who plays in real leagues, talking about Jimmy G and maybe even Andy Dalton, although they've quietened down on that, some actually having the job for this season. I wouldn't mean that the young quarterbacks aren't good either. I mean, Pat sat for the first year as well. And like, there's very little things that offer as much upside as Jimmy G if he's starting all year. If you know what I mean, it's like from 0 points to 15 a game for free.
Yeah, he's one of those more consistent guys that's like a high-end QB2 when he's playing. But the fear is he loses that job pretty quickly to Lance. And if that never happens, then he's a guy you get at a value.
Yeah, but the fear is... And don't get me wrong, I do not have the stones to do this in one of my little for fun leagues, but I thought it was an interesting thought if you're playing in high stakes to have the goal. Like, because you don't even, it's not like people are afraid of it, they just don't think he's starting this year.
Right.
Like, at all. And so you get it for free, like as low as you want almost.
Well, and like the biggest thing with that too is like you said, we shouldn't take too much out of these coaches' quotes in the preseason. Especially, we shouldn't be taking like Kyle Shanahan's word as gospel because he just lied for months for no reason. He could have just told us right away that he was taking
ultimate coach speak. Yeah,
that's fair. No, there are some coaches you especially don't listen to.
Yeah,
and when it comes down to it, like we were just saying about players, like they deserve to get angry about some of the shit we say because it sounds horrible. And coaches have literally no incentive to tell you anything. I get that there's a fan relationship and stuff, but the fans don't care if you win. Right. It's only us little football nerds that are like, damn it, I drafted him. And it's like, but I got even whatever kind of edge I got by, anyone in another team not knowing that was definitely worth you being slightly upset. Like, I don't care. I do not care.
Like people getting bent out of shape and angry at Josh Jacobs for hating fantasy football. And it's like, well, I mean, read the comments people send to him, and I can totally understand why he would hate fantasy football.
Especially a public job where you've got that much. I mean, it's not saving the world, but there is a lot put on you, and it's stressful, and you're a young kid, and you're in one of those violence things anyone can engage in the modern world, and then you've got some little nerd Yeah, you did just got me points. Fuck you, dude.
You got some asshole in a bow tie and sunglasses yelling at you on the internet.
Talking about how you're trash, bruh.
Exactly. Because you cost me in my $20 entry league.
Especially since you know for a fact, face to face, you could bench them with that. No matter how hard they were objecting to the activity, you could pick them up and bench press them. You were fighting for their lives, and you're like, yeah,
it'd be the full cartoon holding the hand, back, arms length.
It must be difficult.
All right, Jack, what do you got here?
Well, so we go with Matthew Stafford because, like we were talking about, he isn't the star everyone thinks he is this season because the Rams still do have a good defense, but he's better than Jared Goff. Cam Akers is gone. They might skew a little bit more pass to run. So I kind of like that. And Daniel Jones doesn't feel good, but he's got that Konami upside. So yay.
Yay.
But my running backs are okay. Like J.K. Dobbins, I don't like him as my RB1, but I basically have like J.K. Dobbins, Myles Gaskin, Damian Harris, like all 3 RB2-3 types. So it could be worse. It could be better. And then Gio Bernard and Darrington Evans, they're both going to get you 1 or 2 usable weeks. I'm really hoping for Darrington Evans. Kind of less certain on that. But then the receivers, I'm pretty thrilled with Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. I never start a draft that way.
Right.
Because
there was a reason for that.
There is, but it still
feels
it's nice to have them on my team.
Sure.
And Jerry Jeudy, Mike Williams, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman, big Matt Harmon is a big Michael Pittman fan.
Yeah.
We'd like to talk about listening to smart people, so that's one of the smart people I'm going to listen to. And then Aguilar, the alleged wide receiver 1 in New England. Peter will fight me on that one there. Cole Beasley, decided to take a shot on him, and then had to get my stacks in. So Darius Slayton stacked with Danny Jones, Danny Dimes, Van Jefferson stacked with Matt Stafford. Like, it helps a little bit. And then Kyle Pitts and Hunter Henry could be a lot worse at tight end. It doesn't feel good, but it doesn't feel bad. And at tight end, that's all you want. You don't want to feel horrible.
Right.
It's easy to feel horrible at tight end.
And you did exactly what we always say is the best strategy at tight end. They don't share a bye week. So perfect.
I
am a monster for not checking bye weeks. It is my fatal flaw.
Yeah. Let's see.
I like the fact because it forced us to take a tight end early, so it makes sense to take the next one really late. That's what I'd say about Henry as well. So.
And I've got Tua and Baker, which isn't terrible. It's not spectacular, but it'll be good enough. I've got Swift, who I like as my RB1, and then a bunch of just dart throws behind that. So hopefully my RB2 on a weekly basis is something. At this point, it's who's my even starting RB2 week 1? Is it Phillip Lindsay maybe? Yikes. That's going to be rough. But my wide receivers, I like my wide receivers. Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Antonio Brown's got the upside. DJ Chark gives me that little bit of floor. And then more, my love for Bateman. If you want to talk about people that I have exposure to, it's Rashad Bateman. He's way up there.
You got to be like 80%.
It's real close. It's real close.
Heard anything about his injury?
4 to 6 weeks at the start of the season.
Sounds like a sports hernia surgery, so it shouldn't affect him coming back. And
all that's done is lower his ADP and give me more shares.
I will see soft tissue injuries kind of scare me that way.
A little bit, yes.
Because they can linger. And this isn't from what he's going to do this year. Like, I just need him to get 600 yards, man, or 17% target share for the season. Like, I got real low threshold. And there's a lot of my heart tied up in Rashad Bateman being a thing, especially after what happened to Tyler Johnson, man. Like, this might be the last straw.
This is it.
Drawing a line, NFL. Yeah. Come on.
And then I've got Higbee and Jarwin, and they don't share a bye week, so that's great.
That is fantastic, except I don't like Tyler Higbee, but it's fine.
All right, Peter, what do you got?
I got 3 tight ends, and 2 of them share a bye week.
Perfect. But you did get your Evan Ingram, so
I did. 66% now exposed to Evan Ingram. I think you should call a lawyer at this point. Joe Burrow and Derek Carr. It feels like Joe Burrow has a lot of upside, though I'm increasingly concerned with that injury because people who actually look at injuries are saying you really shouldn't expect him to start the season healthy, which is sad for me.
But Carr gives you the floor, so
I do think if he was healthy, he has a lot of upside, even as a passing QB in this league, and especially since they just did nothing but improve his receiving core. Derek.
Really hoping that the Bengals don't ruin Joe Burrow. I will be devastated if that happens.
I have the same concern with Trevor Lawrence. I think where the I worry, because I don't know how, and I don't know why, and I don't know football, but I've seen a lot of quarterbacks just never do anything, and it seems to be more about the teams they landed on,
Yeah.
And I am not an Urban Meyer guy. I think he is the latest Cliff Kingsbury grifter in the NFL.
And Cincinnati is not a well-funded organization. This is something I don't know outside of Ryan McDowell points it out. And I kept noticing a lot of their deep wide receiver shots, like Marvin Jones, and like Sanu, a lot. I liked them as prospects; they were productive. And then and there were a few depth chart guys and practice squad guys, just as I was deep later round undrafted free agents. I was like, yeah, maybe they got some good scouts over there, or at least ones that think like me. I like it. And then Ryan McDowell said, no, what you got to realize is they employ 1 to every 3 scouts at the NFL level. They are underfunded. And so if a player has any kind of hype, they are more likely to listen to it. So the fact that me and fantasy football might have liked the deep guys, not that they listen to it, but they're more likely to draft a guy like Henry Ruggs or John Ross. It gets a lot of hype around the combine, and they draft him because they have a lot less people informing their decisions because they don't have as many scouts. They literally don't fund it. Or that's Ryan McDowell's excuse for it, and that worries me.
They don't even have an outdoor practice facility.
I need a billionaire invested in this activity. But still, Joe Burrow himself is a good player. I think I'm pretty convinced of that. And if he can be healthy, maybe they can make something happen. God, I hope so. Outside of that, my running backs look a little thicker than usual. Travis Etienne. I love James Robinson, but there's only one Rashad Penny. And there's 1 million players who've just been cut by the draft because that's what the team wants. And I think everything that's come out after that is a team just justifying a bad draft pick. They had the running back they needed, but the worse the coach is, the more they want to stamp their players. I drafted him in this high round. That mean me good. No things. And then afterwards, they put him on the practice field, and Etienne, I think, is a good prospect. That's the other part of it. And they're like, oh, look, we have 2 really – we didn't need to do that, did we? Well, tell him we're going to use him like a wide receiver. I think that's what it is.
Justify it. Mm-hmm.
But hopefully I'm wrong because I love James Robinson, but I don't think Etienne – I think he's a really good prospect, and he has the draft capital, and that just doesn't bode well. Miles Sanders just kind of fell to me, I don't like investing in Eagles, but I'm looking at, I don't think he has top 12 upside, but he could be a top 15 running back with plenty of usable weeks, especially since this running back depth chart is a little thinner since we didn't go running back in the first few rounds.
And at that point in the draft, too.
Yeah. That was Miles Sanders' pick. Michael Carter's receiving isn't strongly favored in this scoring system, but I think he has that role, and I think he's an underrated runner as well. And the Jets, I don't know, while I'm getting more disillusioned with the Eagles and just out on the Texans, I think the Jets might stop being the Jets, might just elevate a little bit. Then again, I've been hoping that with Miami for a few years. So far, I'm over many bets. So maybe not, but you never know.
How do you not like Bob Saleh, though? He just inspires you to think they're going to be good.
So I'll take that upside of that ADP, I did not mean to handcuff my handcuff with Tevin Coleman, but there you go. Alexander Madison, because at that point, you're just looking for upside at running back. Who will get the job if there is someone who decides to leave the NFL for a business venture? Because I prefer not to say injuries. Benjamin, same thing. I just don't think we know who is the guy on that roster, and Benjamin's free, so I've been taking him a lot late. I like Edmonds. I've got way too much James Conner because he goes late as well. It's one of those uncertain backfields, so you take your shots where you can. And wide receivers 11 more. I've got the wide receiver 1 in 2021 and Calvin Ridley. Tam McCollum biking into the top 12 for the first time. Kenny Golladay reliving his top 12 form. Obviously, with with a different quarterback, maybe. Corey Davis, who's, I think, I want Elijah Moore on that depth chart, but Corey Davis is a good player, and he's underrated because, like we were saying, there's a difference between real football and fantasy.
Yeah.
And I think Corey Davis...
like Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference, though. Corey Davis can co-opt a wide receiver 1 target share. He can play that role. He's just not going to elevate the team himself. He needs an A.J. Brown. He's not an A.J. Brown, but he's a very good player. And I think even with rookie Elijah Moore and a slightly improved team, having cut the coach out, like that alone improves the team, then Corey Davis can at least be better than where this ADP is at, right? What did I get him at? Like wide receiver 90,000 or something?
Right.
Rondale Moore, he's one of the odds-on favorites to be the rookie who has a difference-making fantasy season. There's normally at least one. I think Jamar Chase is the best rookie in this class, but I don't think he's the most likely to have the early impact. I think that's Elijah Moore, who goes earlier, and then Rondale Moore, who goes a little later, so I ended up getting him at a pretty decent value here. Jacoby Myers, New England's actual wide receiver 1, which doesn't amount to much, but I think he's slightly underrated. At this ADP, to get a wide receiver who does have upside, he's been extremely good in the role he's had so far. So like discount Julian Edelman's worst year, maybe. Tutu Atwell just for the brand, really. No, because Tutu is a playmaker as well as a underrated receiver, especially from this draft class. The team's invested draft capital. I think he can earn at least a role on this offense year 1. He's not going to be the Rondale Moore of this class, probably, but there'll be a game, I think, somewhere where he shows some of why they drafted him, because he's got talent. And at that point in the draft at wide receiver, I'm just looking for those games, personally. Dallas Goedert, because you forced me to take a tight end. Evan Ingram, because you all are crazy. And Jimmy Graham, because, again, you forced me to take a tight end. And that about wraps up the roster.
It's beautiful. Love it.
Mwah, chef's kiss. Have to love it. Although, if I am the judge again, which I'm not sure, Steve,
you're not the judge.
Stripped me of my judgeship.
I'm telling you.
But if I'm the judge,
a very partial judge.
Think I won.
I know you always think you win.
I always do. I am very full of myself.
I know.
Might be full of shit as well, but
yeah. I think the guy who actually won is the guy that got Saquon Barkley in the 2nd round. That's probably the guy that won.
No, because he drafted Jamar Chase in the 4th. So.
Yeah, but he backed it up with Odell Beckham, followed by who was that next guy? Juju, right? That's pretty lit.
Yep.
I'm utterly convinced I've lost every draft I've done on this platform. So, I just continuing that feeling. I had fun though. I'm really best ball format's really interesting, especially for someone that primarily thinks and plays in Dynasty. It gives you a lot more options, and it's been fun experimenting with the differences. Also, I've been able to draft Brandon Ayuk somewhere finally, because all of Twitter and the world knows that he's going to be a top 12 wide receiver next year. And I don't have him anywhere in Dynasty. And so I'm taking the out. I do think it's likely. His rookie season was amazing, but I think we should be a little less convinced. We know it's definitely going to happen. But just in case, when it happens, I want to be able to be happy for him too. And so best ball is my place.
Perfect.
Well, we're glad that it all worked out well for you. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I didn't say that. I'm not happy. I've never been happy, though. Don't take it personally.
Well, if you want to follow the unhappy man, you can find him at PA Howdy on Twitter. You can find Steve at nonsense_Steve. You can find all our work over at importantnonsense.com and at nonsenseff on Instagram and Twitter. And, of course, you can find me at Cavanagh87 on all of the socials. And if you want to know what I know, if you want to know best, give me that follow. It should work out for you. And most importantly, make sure you use promo code NONSENSE when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Peter, for playing alongside of us, even if you were miserable.
Again, you just got to not take it personal, man. I'm genuinely...
He's just always miserable.
I'm a little nerd in a basement. I'm always kind of twisted. This is the most fun I have. No, had a great time, guys. Thanks for asking me because someone else dropped out. I really enjoy being your last chance.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. did wonders for the ego. It's
Hey,
like
first
everyone's
choice
busy.
in our heart.
Who do we
Okay?
get?
Yeah.
No, seriously, thanks very much. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yep.
No.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us.